Hi guys, it's been a while. I have finished a few more books since posting the last one about the Fall of Arthur. I've just been super busy. So I'm going to talk to you about the first book that I finished reading that I really loved and I was super excited for, and it's called The Things Gods Break. Things Gods Break is a sequel to The Games Gods Play. And what was so good about The Games Gods Play, I mean, I'm not going to lie, one of the reasons I chose that book was because of the artwork on the pages, and I'll show you the artwork on The Things Gods Break next. But one of the things I really liked about The Games Gods Play is that it's Hunger Games meets Greek mythology, or in this case, some people say Percy Jackson. Like Hunger Games meets Percy Jackson meets Spice. It's a slow burn. It's a slow burn book between Hades and this human named Lyrakees, who is cursed to be unlovable. And her curse comes from Zeus because Lyra was born in Zeus's temple. So she was cursed. He cursed her because she desecrated his temple, even though she had no control over where she was going to be born. And so the Crucible becomes this big thing where the gods choose one human every 100 years to be their champion. And their champion fights in a series of 12 trials to find out which Greek god will rule the Greek pantheon for the next 100 years. And what was so cool about that book was that it had a slow burn romance. It took the mythology of Greece's gods into a whole different direction that I didn't expect. And in fact, I actually ended up learning a lot more about the Greek gods because I ended up wanting to do more research about certain things. But it stayed true to certain aspects, like Aphrodite, who's nicknamed Addie, is very seductive, but it also shows that she has a more loving side, that she is very sweet and endearing, that she's not just about lust, but truly about love. Hermes, who I never actually realized was also the god of thieves, was mentioned significantly throughout that first book. And I really enjoyed him because he was like kind of a little petulant and a little obnoxious, but there was something very endearing about him in a way that made him, to me, more fun than any other version of Hermes I've ever seen. We talk a lot about Zeus's many children. You get talks about Demeter and Athena, and the big turning point is when Hades, because Hades has never joined the Crucible Games. That's where Lyra comes in. He joins these games for the first time, and it changes everything because there can only be 12 trials, but he's already the king of the underworld. The king of the underworld cannot also be the king of all the gods in Olympus. It was just very fun, but like he chooses this human, this woman who has no hope of ever being happy, and he chooses her. And it's a slow burn romance, and I like the way they did it because I know a lot of people are, when they find out that Persephone is actually Hades' niece, and that Zeus is also Persephone's father, and Demeter is obviously Persephone's mother. A lot of people find that a little odd. Remember, Greek mythology, Greek gods can do whatever the heck they want. But what was kind of neat is that they changed up that romance, and that she wasn't queen of the underworld because she was in love with Hades. She became queen of the underworld because she wanted freedom, which is more explained in The Things Gods Break. Look how beautiful this cover, these pages are. So in The Things Gods Break, Lyra is once again thrown into a series of trials. This time they actually are called trials. She is forced into Tartarus, where, if you don't know your Greek mythology, Tartarus is where the Titans, the primordial gods essentially, are all locked away. And they were locked there obviously because of when Zeus finally was old enough, he started a war to save his brothers and sisters from Cronus' stomach. And what was really fun about this is that this book actually really brought in more of the other pantheons. Throughout the first book, Lyra talks about, maybe I'll change pantheons. Maybe I won't follow the Greek gods anymore. Maybe I'll go to the Norse gods or the Egyptian gods. And this actually brings in a whole series of other pantheons. The Aztec gods, the Egyptian gods, oh my gosh, there's a whole page in the back talking about or in the front. There's a whole page literally talking about every character that they brought in. Bear with me, everyone. Glossary of the gods and more. So we have Aphrodite, Apollo, Anubis, Ares, Artemis, Athena, Boon, Cerberus, Charon, Ceres, who is the Greek titan of constellations, Kronos, Demeter, Dionysus, Erechegikos, Sumerian goddess of death, Ishu, which is a Yoruba spirit, messenger spirit and trickster god, Gaia, Eureba, Hades, Hecate, Hel, Hephaestus. Hel is the Norse goddess of the underworld. Hermes, Hestia, Hyperion, Iphitus, Chios, Lyra, Medusa, which is really fun. I was really excited when Medusa got introduced. I don't know how they're going to do anything with her yet, but because I think she's going to make an appearance in the third book. The Aztec god of the death. Don't ask me to say his name. Naomi's Persephone, Phoebe, Poseidon, Oceanus, Odin, Rhea, Taxet, which is the Heda god of violent death, and the twin brother of Tia, who is the Hedea goddess of peaceful death. Thetis, Thea, Themis, Uranus, the Korean god of death, Yoamra, and Zeus. So this brought in a whole world of showing that all these cultures and myths, they all in a way work together. I mean, we find out that Hades has a strong connection, a strong relationship with all the other gods of the underworld and other gods of death, and depending on what pantheon they are. And but he seems to be the most powerful. This book has a lot of prophecy and a lot of choosing your own destiny, and how, I know people, this is a spoiler, major spoiler. So if you don't want to know the spoiler, just cut out. There was time travel in this. A lot of time travel. And people find that to be, some people found that to be a cop-out. I actually thought it tied very well into the story. If you're going to have the Titan of Time, Kronos, in a book as a hero or a villain, you need to know that there's going to be things involving time, whether he's stopping time or he's traveling through time, or this character's traveling through time and changing things, or affecting the way the future happens. I mean, you can't have a story about gods of time and death and space without expecting the unexpected, expecting time travel. But the way they do it is so interesting, because it's almost as if prophecy isn't necessarily one that you are born for. It maybe sometimes prophecy is something that you create, a self-fulfilled prophecy. And it's interesting the torture you can put yourself through when it comes to a self-fulfilling prophecy. So I highly recommend reading the things gods break, but obviously first read the games gods play. And the third book will be coming out this year, so I'm very excited for that. I believe I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but I'm really excited for it. If you want to know more about the books I've been reading and what books are coming up, please like and follow for more. If there are books that you would like me to read because you have books that you really enjoyed and like, please leave them in the comments. Thank you.